Hi and welcome to this video with me, John Kibler, one of the head traders here at Trade and Train. Just wanted to discuss with you a key ingredient to help gain confidence and boost your ability and experience in the Forex markets, and that is to do with backtesting. Now, backtesting we find is quite underrated in the markets, especially to people that are new. People are excited by the flashing lights, the profit, the P&L moving up and down, and they're not really aimed immediately at trying to find an edge. What the cycle usually is you'll end up, you know, jumping into something, making a few winning trades, think that you're doing great. It all comes crashing down. You end up losing a lot of money, and then you start to think, well, actually, hang on, if I'd maybe played to an edge, I could have achieved something a little bit more. Or, there's got to be some kind of edge in it. It happened to me when I first started trading. I looked at every strategy under the sun. I've still got a lot of those strategies written up that I don't use. And when trading really started to change around for me is when I really did look into the backtesting side of things. It helped with my mentality. I knew exactly what kind of percentage chance I had of winning a trade, what percentage chance I had of losing a trade, how reliable it was, how many consecutive losses I could get, all that kind of stuff. And this is important data, guys, because if you know that, then you know that if, say you are in that drawdown of 5 trades, you know that that's usually your maximum drawdown. So at some point you are likely to turn that around if you keep playing to that strategy edge. And, obviously the market isn't all about strategy, but, a lot of the times it's to do with, our fundamental analysis, our technical analysis, and then it's how do we enter that particular market. Now everyone kind of has a different way of entering that market, so you've got to try and find your way of doing that. Okay, so what we have in front of you, the screen in front of you, is something called Forex Tester 3. Now we are working with Forex Tester 3. They have given us a code for you to use if you desire to use this software. We do, being open and honest, we do receive a kickback for that, but you also receive 20% discount. Now, it's one of those things where it's kind of a situation where you won't get the 20% discount without a link through us. So use the discount. We do get a kickback, but it's only very small. So but I am trying to be open and honest with you all here. So how do we use this software? Because at the end of the day, we want to know if you can actually use this or not, and whether it will actually benefit you. Because if it doesn't benefit you, then it's not going to be something for you. But if you think this can benefit your trading, I think it would benefit your trading, then we can take a good look at it. So this is a test I've been running on pound Swiss for a while. But what we're going to do, I'm going to go for a brand new project. So if you go up to here and click new project, we can say project name, and we can say trade and train example in there. And then you can choose an initial deposit. So if you're using a £5,000 account, you can actually type in £5,000 here. If you're using, if you were starting with a very, very small account, you can look at that as well. So we're just going to put in, a £10,000 account. Okay. Then we're going to click next. Now we have all these symbols to choose from. So I believe you get at least 21 pairs on a basic sort of package. So you can choose from all this, and you get data from around 2001. So what we're going to look at is, let's just pick dollar CAD. And you can see from the date it's 2001, the 2nd of January 2001, to the date 2007. There's a lot of data there, okay? A hell of a lot of data. So November 2017, okay? So what we're going to do is jump into next. Time zone, GMT 0, I'm going to stick to that. Start testing. Yeah, happy with all that. I'm going to click create. And what this is going to do now is generate this chart for us, and what we should see is the test running, or the chart running, as soon as we kind of get around to this 100% mark. Let's give that a couple of seconds. And here we go. So we've got $CAD. There's no data at the minute, and the reason there's no data is because we haven't clicked start test just there. So time frame as well, you can choose your different time frames. You can go up to a month, week, day, 4 hour, all the way down to the minute chart. So if I just put this on a daily chart, for instance, and I click start test, you'll get this, and it'll start running at a pace. You can then make that the whole chart, and then what you're going to do is just see that it moves up and down or whatever. So let's have a look at what else we can do. So we can pause the test at any time. So going into testing and clicking pause, you can pause the test. You can also load in the bars separately. So if I press spacebar, it'll finish that bar off. If I press spacebar again, it'll load the next day bar. Okay, so if it was a 4 hour minute chart or anything like that, the spacebar will just load into that. Now I feel like this is a really good way of testing, because it gives you, you can kind of go at your own pace rather than waiting for it to play out and whatnot. You can also do templates and stuff. So I already have a template built in, but if you want to go to chart settings, you can build your own template here. Very similar to the MetaTrader 4 platform. It's basically built off the MetaTrader 4 platform to be quite similar. So you can choose all that yourself. I've already got one set in, so I'm just going to go to template and click grey test, and there we're going to go. There we go. We have statistics tab on the side. Sometimes this isn't like this, but you know, the statistics tab is where we kind of look in throughout the kind of time of testing. We get the days processed, the months processed, the total amount of trades, profitable trades, losing trades. That's how many profitable, how many you've lost. Profitable trades consecutive, how many do you win in a row? Lost trades consecutive, how many do you lose in a row? And then it kind of breaks down trades per day, trades per month, profit trades per month, lost trades per month, max profit on a trade and max loss on a trade, which is key, because if we're looking to risk manage, you know, max loss trade and lost trades consecutive can help you build into your risk management plan. Income is going to show you the net profit, the gross loss, profit in a month, average profit per trade, average loss per trade, your max drawdown, which is key, your profit factor, and your return percentage on the account that you've placed or started with. Okay, max lots used, that's just going to show you the lot sizes and the highest kind of lot size you use. Restoration factor, now this is if you go back, because you can actually cheat on this a little bit and go back if you've missed an opportunity, but then it will build into a reliability factor as well. So what you want to do is try and keep these as close to zero as possible. Okay, profit probability, that's going to be how profitable your strategy is, or what percentage that you're going to make a profit, and what percentage you're going to potentially have a losing trade. Okay, so those are kind of really key details that you get out of Forex Tester 3, which I think's really good in, you know, kind of narrowing down and gaining that confidence, because if you know exactly over a set period of times what your potential consecutive loss trades could be, your max drawdown, which is going to be key as well, so that you can build that into a risk management plan. So let's say you have a chance of losing those 5 consecutive trades in a row. Okay, are you going to be risking 2% a trade? Because then that means you could draw down 10% a trade, 10% at any given time. Now, if you draw down 10%, how is that going to affect you mentally? How is that going to affect your account? You need to build all that in. So let's say if you move that to 0.25% risk, your likelihood is that you will never go into that max drawdown. Okay, so you need to look at all these different types of things. But this is what Forex Tester can show you. And you know, if you've seen a strategy online and you don't want to put your own money on it, this is a perfect and ideal tool to use. So let's just carry on and go through what we've got. We've got open positions here, pending orders, account history, and our journal just in there. So account history is going to be how much profit and loss you've made on your account on every trade. It's going to give you the open price, stop loss, take profit, all that kind of stuff. Pending orders is going to be orders that you've got sitting in that you might not be in, and open positions is of course going to be your current open position at that given time. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to jump to the weekly a second, and I'm just going to play in a few candles. And I mean, I'm not going to go through a specific strategy today, but I just want to show you how it works. And what I'm going to do, I'm just building in a bit of data, just so we can at least have a little look at some data on a daily chart. So now if I go to a daily chart, you can see that we're starting to build that data in. You know, I might build in a few months actually, because you know 2001, get some data in. Where are we now? Around 2006, right? Okay, cool. So let's just jump into a daily chart. Okay, and you know you've got the period separators here on months. Okay, you've got you know your candlesticks, your bearish, your bullish, everything that you'd get in a normal candlestick chart. You've got your price listed on the right hand side. Now you've also got tools that you can use, so we can bring in resistance and support lines down in here. So let's just say that's our support and resistance through there. You can add, you can take these things off like the volume, you know, the grid, the account history, because what that'll do is, you know, make a clean chart. What that'll do, basically with your account history, it will show you where you taken the trade, and sometimes that can be a little bit messy, but you know, you've got your crosshair, you've got vertical lines. You've got trend lines that you can draw, you've got ray lines that you can draw, you've got this kind of zigzaggy thing you can draw all over the place, which is, I suppose, kind of cool. Text, you've got fibs, you've got rectangles, you have absolutely everything at your disposal, okay? And all you need to do then is just click on it, delete, right click on it, delete, right click. You know, so it's quite easy to maneuver around. So let's just play the chart on. Let's see if it comes into our, so it's broken through that. Okay, so let's just say we're going to short this market, right? What I'm going to do, there's a couple of things you can do. You can right click on the chart and it will say buy limit, sell stop. Okay, so you can just literally click sell stop. It'll produce the sell stop where you've kind of right clicked. You can move that price by using this eyedropper tool. So if you wanted to get in under there, and let's say you wanted to put your stop loss above the highs just in here, you can place that just there. You want to take your profit, you can give it a fixed amount of pips just on the right hand side and click that in. You know, you've got your lot size up here, type of order you want, everything that you need really. So let's just keep it at a 0.5 lot size. You can work that out yourself in your own time if you were doing it, you know, fully properly, and then you place order, and you can see that your sell stops in there. If you go to pending orders tab down here, you can see $CAD and your pending order in there. So let's just play this on. So I'm just going to click the space bar. So we're in that trade now. We can see that we're 55 points up with a total of £238 profit. Okay, and then you can keep playing that. So let's say you've got a, I don't know, a strategy where you're just looking at you know, trend and whatnot. So you can see now we got stopped out on that trade. So if we go to account history, you can see we got stopped out. It was minus 81 points, and it gives you the swap, and it will give you your overnight charges as well, sort of thing. So which is pretty cool. So we got stopped on that one. Let's see what happens next. Let's see if we get like a bit of a trend reversal sort of here. So yeah, it looks like we're going to see that trend reversal. There's another way you can enter a trade as well. So if you see this paper area up here, it says place new market order. If you click that, this brings this tab up as well. So I'm going to put my stop loss below these lows in here, just below the level, let's say. I'm going to put our lot size on 0.5, and I'm just going to buy the market. So we've entered the market live here, so you can do market order live and all that kind of stuff. And then again, we get stopped out just in there. And then the market continues. Bounce from, it looks like our support isn't where I thought it was. It looks like our support was down in there. But, you know, if you're following a strict set of rules, guys, you know, this is something that you could really benefit from. So let's say we wanted to add an indicator in. So we can come into indicators. We have loads of indicators we can use through here, pretty much everything you pretty much desire. and I'm going to insert a couple of moving averages. So let's say we want to trade with trend and we want certain moving averages to be in order. So if we go to add indicator and we basically look for the moving average, we can see that we can change the EMA type, the MA type to simple exponential weighted. I'm going to stick to the EMA and I'm going to put a 20 in there and it will generate that 20. I'm also going to insert add indicator. I'm going to come down, I'm going to add a 10 in there, and I'm going to add, let's just make that blue or something. Let's just generate that. So all I'm going to do now, I'm going to only look for sells if the 10 is below the 20, and I'm only going to look for buys if the 10 is above the 20. Okay, so ranging market at the moment, nothing really happening. If we get a break of these lows, we could look for a potential opportunity through there. So now we've got the break of those lows. Are we going to see a retest? So we've seen a retest. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sell that market. I'm going to put stop losses above the highs, and I'm going to click sell in there, and let's see what happens. So we're below the moving averages. Okay, so we got stopped on that one. Again, let's see what happens through here. But you can see, guys, how you can move and generate this. So it did move lower in the end. We've got a nice little move to the downside. A little bit erratic, this market at the minute. Doesn't seem to know what it really wants to do. Let's just have a look at the weekly. So again, you can look at the weekly at this point. So I'm looking at the weekly, and I think we might get a little bit of a push up in there. So looking for buying opportunities now. We've come back into our 10 and 20 moving average. Let's look for that buy. Let's just put our stop loss down here. I'm not doing this to show you, a winning profitable strategy at all. I'm just doing this just to show you how you can use this toolage, this software, to perhaps build your own strategy in place. Okay. So again, we're looking at that. Looks like we found a bit of resistance up there. So again, if you press delete, you can go back and you can look at this area and say, well, why is price doing this at this point? You can say to yourself, well, if price hit that, could we bank a little bit of it? So this is quite a cool thing as well. So you can come to close part of your position. So we took 0.5 lots. So if I went 0.25 lots in this point here, clicked OK, it bank half. Okay. You can then also look to move your stops to break even at any point, and then and then play out like that. So again, it did move higher on the weekly chart. Let's have a little look at that. Yeah, it came from that point there into that resistance just through there. So you can see that actually was a resistance point in time. So that was a good area to look for taking profits. Now we've had this nice bearish engulfing candle, so we could see price continue to the downside. Okay, so let's see what happens. Are we going to get that opportunity? Let's just say that's our opportunity. Let's just sell it there. So you can sell live if you have a strategy that doesn't require a stop loss or anything like that. Just remember, so let's say you did that and you forgot your stop loss, you can double click your order in here. It should pop up. There you go. You can then add your stop loss in. Let's say there, modify order position. There you go. You've added your stop loss in just in there. And you can see we're below the moving averages. So the moving averages, just let that play out. Let's say you wanted to drag your stop to break even at that point. You can drag your stop to break even. You can do that down here. You can actually just say move stop loss to break even, and it will move it to break even at that point. So we're still below. Moving averages are still looking good. Everything's okay for now. Let's see if we get a change. No, nothing really happening. And then you can play your profits out. Let's just say it keeps going. Let's say if it breaks, so it's kind of consolidating this point. So let's say if you bring your stop loss and say, well, if it breaks these highs, I want to be out because it's ranged at this point. We could see a change in trend. I'll be out at that point through there. And there you go. We get stopped out at that point. You can see in pending in account history that we got taken out at that point through there. Okay, so you could have your own targets in place. So let's just discuss that. So if we go into open a position, let's just have a look. So it looks like it might continue to the downside, to be honest. Oh no, we've got the break. There we go. Let's see if we get a retest. So let's say we want to buy this market. So let's buy with our stop loss here. Okay, that's 100 points. Let's say we're doing 3-to-1 risk reward. So if we had a 100-point stop, we want a 300-point target. Okay, so we click in. Oh, sorry, I did the wrong one just in there. We want to put that on a buy and put it up there. So that's now 300 points away. That would be your 3-to-1 just in there. Okay, so if I click buy now, okay, we should see our target of 3-to-1 up there. Okay, so let's see what the market does. Doesn't look like it wants to go where we want it to go. Using this area as support, let's see if we can hold. Doesn't look like it wants to for now. But yeah, you get the gist of it. You know, this is one of those things where you've got to find a strategy. So let's say you wanted to sell there. You can, and let's say you wanted to do it on a sell stop order only. So let's say you only want to be entered if it breaks those lows down there. So if it breaks this low, I want to be in. Okay, you can put your stop loss above the highs. Again, that's 116 points, so you can put in a target. You can put a manual take profit in. So let's say you wanted 200 points only. Place order, and then if it breaks those lows, you're in. Didn't break the lows. It now looks like it's going to do that higher trend to the upside. So again, we can go into pending orders, right click, close all positions on order, or delete pending order just in there. So I know this video has been a little bit long-winded, but this is how you can use it to your advantage. You can see that with that strategy we had, you know, well, it's not really a strategy that we used, but you know, we had a total of 7 trades. We had 3 profitable trades, 4 losing trades. Our max profitable trade was 960. Our max loss was 573. We have a negative profit at the minute, and we're down minus 4.6% at the moment. So again, you know, you need to look at this and backtest a strategy that you potentially could use. They also do have inbuilt strategies as well that you can test and have a little play around with. We think this is a great tool to see if a strategy is profitable or not, and you know, it can really help boost your confidence in your trading. You know, I think price might move. You know, you might just be guessing. Price might move higher from this point. You know, let's say your thing was to buy highs, so, or you know, you can have fractals in. So you wanted to buy stop above there, stop loss down here, and you like to ride trends, so you don't want to be out until up here. You know, and you can place your order and see what happens. Okay. So again, this market is quite difficult to trade. Look, by the looks of it. So we've got our strategy in place. You know, it's quite a ranged market at the minute. You can go to your weekly and see that we're in that ranging period. So there's nothing really that we can do here. The market is moving now towards that area that we discussed just through here. So yeah, just have a little look at that. I think this could be beneficial to your trading. It also gives you experience, as you can trade through a number of different trades. You can trade different currency pairs and different time frames, so you'll have lots of trades. Whereas you're not putting your own money on the line, you can actually think about a trade, put it on, and match your rules perfectly, so that when you get into a live environment, you know exactly what to do. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for listening. Our link will be below this video, as well as back in the newsletter, to purchase this software. I really think it can benefit you, but you know, it's still always down to you. So happy trading. I hope everything goes well. Catch you guys later.